and cut.
No,
like,
you're gonna have to do it
we're
again.
gonna do at least 5 more takes of that. And cut.
We got it.
Soldiers for a fight against the mother world. Well, my name's Kai. Come on, my ship's down at port.
I think you have to believe that you are a real person operating in a real world and try to offer as much nuance as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And we did shoot. There, obviously there's been an editing process that's gone on for many, many, many months since we finished. And, Zack refined the story he was telling and distilled it down to its essence, from an enormous breadth down to what we see here. And I think that some of those more nuanced human character things fell by the wayside, and hopefully, I'm not sure if it'll happen or not, but Zack does have a tendency to, release extended cuts later on, and maybe you'll see some of that more sort of character stuff. But I think that we both were really committed to trying to make, although aware that we were playing archetypes, to try to make them multifaceted and interesting and have some sort of expression of the human condition.
I agree. I mean, that's the only thing we can do, really, to try and breathe life into our characters and let the iconic imagery happen through the lens. Let Zack do that.
What's it like with him as the cinematographer, like right there sort of with you?
I wasn't quite expecting that on a project of this size. It was very intimate. Right?
Yep.
We have moments of, like, for example, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is towards the end of it, when we have a moment together, and, remember shooting that, and Zack would be right there with us, not cutting, and we'd go again, and we would probably shoot that scene for, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes without cutting, and we just keep going back, and I was not expecting that on a film of this size.
I've always had a very important and intimate, not always, but when a process is really working the way that I love it to, I've always had a great relationship with camera operators, because they're the eyes. And like, if you move, you want them to be so in tune with you, in tune with each other, that you're not gonna like trip them up, but if you do something unexpected, that they're so connected to you that they're gonna move with you. And often when I will finish doing a take and I'm unsure,
That's
the
the
first
first-
person who I'm gonna catch the eye is the camera operator.
That's
And they're
totally
like,
true.
Was that okay? And they'll go,
That is,
or they'll
it is
go.
such an important relationship between the actors and the operator.
Yeah, I don't think that gets nearly enough love, actually, or recognition.
No. And so if when a director is in Video Village and a bit removed from set, they will always miss out on that. In this case, Zack was not, because he was there.
He was operating. So when you would look at the end of the take and be like, was that okay? And Zack would go. You knew that he got what he wanted.
Or often it would also be if he was still like on the viewfinder and he would say "cut."
Yes.
That's also when you knew. Okay, we got it. We can move on.
Got it. That's right.
Oh, that cut is a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good
That
thing.
extended-
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
that-
Yeah, if
that
it's
guttural,
if it's long, it's
Yeah.
good.
No, if it's like, and cut.
No,
Like,
you're gonna have to do
okay,
it
we're
again.
going to do at least 5 more takes of that. And cut.
We got it.
I'm curious for you guys who were I imagine both sort of on strike earlier this year. What's your sort of take and concerns about sort of where things stand with AI?
My big concern is for humanity writ large. I think that there's some potential real perils that start to get into what was formerly science fiction territory that could present themselves. I could easily see that. I think a very, very tangible issue that we're going to make over the course of the next 15 years about 30% of the global domestic product obsolete, from human labor. And so if you think of all goods and services and the money and influence that is associated with 30% of everything that's produced in the planet being controlled by 2 or 3 individuals, you're going to start to get concentrations of power that is going to be so far beyond any organized government that it's going to create a new world order. And that it's the human element of the manipulation of AI that I actually think right now is the most terrifying. And we better be really, really, really clear that that is what's going to happen, and you're going to have these 2-3 people making decisions that are going to affect everybody. We sort of have this need to keep progressing and evolving as humans, and I think it's deeply built into our DNA of like the human condition, like as a defense mechanism of the terrible, terrible truth that maybe life has no meaning, like that we're like floating around in this incomprehensible, godless, meaningless existence, and therefore we need to keep progressing and keep moving forward to create some sense of meaning. But in doing that, we're making ourselves and the inherent value system that we have completely obsolete. And so where does that leave us? As just some like blobs that are just looking for the next dopamine hit? That's not a good way to live. And I don't want anything to do with it. I find myself fixated in a sort of probably in a very naive way, thinking that probably the peak was about somewhere between 500 to 5,000 years ago in evolution of the Homo sapiens, and that like the minute you stopped getting your fingers in the dirt was the moment that we were all in trouble.
Oh. And bringing it back to Rebel Moon.
If you like.
Yeah, if you like. But it's not a coincidence that in one of the first shots in the movie, we see Cora with her hands in the dirt.
Yes.
And I think that's very cool about Zack's movie. How there's all these references to whatever is happening, and how the film just resonates with our world.